Now, organizations like the Northwest Arkansas Council are working hard to make sure people across our region are vaccinated against COVID-19. We're joined by Dr. Sharon Reese, who is here to talk more about those efforts and also answer any questions maybe you have about the vaccine. Hi, Dr. Reese.
Hi, Dr. Reese.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down with us. We appreciate you. Let's start with how entities are making sure that this is a successful campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think most healthcare organizations at this point have a dedicated COVID vaccine drive going on, and that's really important to end the pandemic and to try and get as many doses into arms, and that's what we're trying to do here too.
So tell me about, like, if an individual has trouble or concerns about the safety of the vaccine, what would you say to that individual?
Yeah, I would say that there's been a lot of research and a lot of monitoring because it is such a high-profile medical procedure, that there's a lot of research, a lot of safety data right now that suggests that the vaccine is safe.
Yeah.
Let's talk about even how do the vaccines work, Dr. Reese?
Yeah, so there are several different kinds of vaccines. There are 3 approved for use in the United States. There's the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Johnson & Johnson. And the Pfizer and Moderna are mRNA vaccines, and how they work is basically by putting mRNA, which is a small piece of a coding protein, into a cell, and then your cell generates spike proteins, which then causes your immune system to create a response to it to protect you against COVID.
Oh, that's great to know how that works, right? Yeah. And I know that you're also doing vaccines now for 12 to 15-year-olds. How do those clinics work? How do 12 to 15-year-olds get vaccinated?
It's exactly the same way that we've been vaccinating our adult population. There are different options to get vaccinated. You can go through a drive-through. You can come into the clinics to get vaccinated. You can even go to a pharmacy. And there are pop-up events all over Northwest Arkansas that you don't even need an appointment for at this point to get vaccinated.
Wow, that's some good information. You don't need an appointment. Do you need insurance to show up to one of these clinics to get vaccinated?
No, you don't need proof of health insurance. That's not a requirement. We do want to make sure that we're vaccinating the right person, so we do want to make sure that your name is spelled correctly and that we have your date of birth. But the requirements are pretty minimal because we want to get the vaccine out to as many people as possible.
Yeah. Sure. And talking about getting the vaccine to as many people as possible, how do we beat this virus?
We get vaccinated as quickly as possible, which has been our goal from the beginning since these vaccines became available. And we do see that for areas where there are high rates of vaccination, that the virus numbers and the case numbers do decrease quite strikingly. So there is a very good case to vaccinate on the community level, not just on the individual level too.
Dr. Reese, what about people who have already had COVID-19? Should they also get vaccinated?
Yes, right now the CDC guidelines say that even if you've had COVID, you should still be vaccinated to a complete series. So that would be 2 doses for the Pfizer or Moderna, or 1 dose with Johnson & Johnson.
Is there anything else you would like our viewers or even ourselves to know about the vaccination clinics?
I think just to know that they are very efficient, and we try to make it as pleasant of an experience as possible. We do have some people come in who are nervous about what to expect, but we have a great team of nurses who have done this over and over again. We have other allied healthcare professionals, pharmacists on site, physicians, medical students, resident doctors, and everybody has been well trained in giving the vaccine. So I encourage everybody who hasn't been vaccinated yet to please come out and get vaccinated.
And if you're looking to get vaccinated, head over to our website, gooddayNWA.com, for a link to get you and your family vaccinated.
Stay with us. We've got more Good Day NWA coming up right after this.